I first want to thank all of you for coming today. I know you're all busy. And I don't want you to construe what I'm about to say as a comment on your personhood. It's more a comment on the testimony. I am not fluent in BS, and I have the slightest idea what you're talking about, except that we've got a problem. One of the issues before us is whether data is property or not. I didn't hear you answer that. If it's not property, it's something, and a lot of people are making money off of it. Mr. Reinhardt, you said it's hard to value this something. Well, let me tell you one way to value it. Last year, Facebook's revenue was $56 billion. That's 9 zeros. 98.5% of it was revenue from ads that were specifically targeted to people based on data.
Yes.
So whether it's property, a property right, or a cabbage, it's being monetized. And it's people's personal information. Can we agree on that?
I would want to add a little bit of complexity to that.
Of course you would.
So, I mean, what they're selling is effectively the attention of individuals, and that to me adds some complexity to this question about the value of data as compared to, say, the value of attention.
Mr. Reinhardt, I don't mean to be rude, but we're senators, okay? This is what I sense, that and I have nothing against social media. These are wonderful American companies, but we're dealing with problems that nobody anticipated. At least I didn't, and my constituents didn't. Forget about whether it's property or not. Mm-hmm. It's something, and it's mine. Or at least it originates with me. When I go on Facebook and share information, whatever you want to call it, it started with me. And now it's on Facebook, and whoever yes. Facebook chooses to give it to. Why can't we have a rule that says, whatever you want to call it, my rights follow it, and I can license it, share it with you and Facebook. I hate to pick on Facebook, but that sharing has to be knowing, and it has to be willful. And I have to be able to change my mind. And I have to be able to call Facebook or click on an icon and say, by the way, I want to see what you've got on me. Mm-hmm. And consistent with Senator Warner's point, I'd kind of like to know what it's worth. Why can't we do that? Now, let me tell you what part of reason we can't do that. Part of that is our fault. We've been holding hearings on this subject, I don't know, 2-3 years. We'll probably be doing it again. This is not a reflection on this committee. This is on the Senate. All we do is issue press releases, hold hearings, and strut. Okay? This, to me, is not complicated. Why can't we just agree on those rules? What's wrong with that?
So I wouldn't necessarily say that those rules are wrong and by any means. I mean, CCPA, California's Privacy Act, does in fact establish a lot of those sorts of rights without having to establish a property right. So that to me, I mean, we can, and I've been supportive of privacy laws in the past, and I think that that's something that is very much needed for this country. Yeah,
but y'all keep saying that, and then you never propose anything. Look, I'm about to run out of time here. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Okay, we've got a problem. I don't think anybody anticipated it. If they did, they didn't do anything about it. At some point, the American people are going to get fed up. And then we're going to have to do something. Otherwise, we won't get reelected. which is what motivates people. Right?
Senator, can I just suggest one thing?
And you may not like what we do.
Fair enough, sir. But if I can just suggest one thing. If the Senate were to pass very strict privacy laws that didn't necessarily adopt a data as property model, people with the right to say you can and cannot use my data would still be able to sell their permission. They could still say, but for $10, I'll give you a yes instead of a no. So it is possible to have people sell their data without adopting the data as property model that carries with it a lot of downsides, that strong privacy protections that don't necessarily impinge the right to sell data would not bring with them.
I'm way over. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.